What's up, Jaylani? Remember me? Remember me? It was like an Eminem track. I feel like I do remember that name. Good morning. Good morning. It's evening where I am. It's actually late. What are you doing? What are you doing this morning? What's the day looking like for you? I actually got it. I turned the TV on in the background, so not good. Why is it not good? Oh no, are you? Oh, I think I know. Yeah, I didn't. I'll plug it in. I'll go outside. Mm. Your son's birthday is today. I thought, are you the one with the kid to get the kids back? He wants Robux on a game called. Yeah, I know Roblox. Yeah, good. Trust me, he'll be fine without the Robux. Those Robux go quick, boy. I gave my son a few dollars. That thing was gone as quick as I gave it to him. Ask me, is that's a waste of. You might want to go do something with him. Well, yeah, I know. My son either. I have two sons. One of them never had. I'm not even I'm not even worried about it. Yeah, we'll see if we get some people in here. Hopefully you can hang around, Jelani. Um, I just want to talk about some. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. But that's the thing. Whatever position, that's kind of what I want to talk about. Whatever position you're in, you're in, and I think the love is more important. We'll just see if a few more people come up in here and we can really get the live started. Do me a favor, like the stream if you're hanging out. Throw something in the chat. If you want to shout out where you're from, please do so. Where you're from or where you're at, that's all good. That is all good. Thank you for the thumbs up. It's just nice to know, we get some vibrations in here. It's easier to have the stream. Um, I would say I got mixed energy, but we'll see if we get a couple more people in here. I know I was driving home and I knew how I was feeling. A lot of times, the trouble with me is I'm having these deep thoughts. I'm a deep thinker, right? Um, okay, well, it's enough people in here. So basically, I just wanted to talk about a situation, not a situation, but my take on something that I went through today. And really, it'd be nice to hear how other people feel, or if they're in the position, one or the other. As a parent, um, I didn't intentionally create a bubble for my children, right? Please like the stream if you come in and you want to hang out for a little while. It'd be pretty helpful. He's son needs some. I don't even know my kids. Yeah, I have one son that's about that age too. Um, I as a parent, I was talking about it on the stream. I think the other day about why I left the city. Pillows, what's up? I didn't leave the city, like I didn't run from the city because I don't like the city. That's not it. I love being from New York City. I love that. There's a lot about it that I would take, but unfortunately, the parts about the parts that I wouldn't take and I wouldn't compromise with. Um, can you just put his name in here, and I'll get it to my son, and we'll see where it goes from there. Because I don't know his name, and he's about to go to sleep. So the parts that I didn't like, and that I was becoming more aware of not liking and having a choice, is what led me to leave the city. Um, and when I left, it was it was a reach, right? Who knows? It could have been worse. It could have been everything that all of the ignorance that I had because it was a move of ignorance. I know what I was searching for, and I was just hoping that it existed. What I was searching for was just having a better quality of life, right? And today, I got the opportunity to go to a birthday party and strategically, like geographically, it was in an area where you're going to get all different types of people, different backgrounds, and it's the New York area, so you're gonna get all different types of people. You're gonna get people that are in thick poverty, people that are not, and I was just very observant, and because it made me realize how much of a bubble that I'm in today, and it made me start to think about the bubble that I've created for myself, which is not one that's hard to get away from because if I created the bubble, then I'm clearly aware of not being in that bubble. But then when you have children and you create this bubble for them, they don't actually know what exists outside of the bubble. And I was just kind of going through the motions. I didn't have any particular solutions. I was just feeling the moment because it's just crazy how I'm happy you decide that I'm on. Put the tag in the chat. I'm happy to side that I'm on, right? Not it's not really a side. There's no competition here. But yeah, I'm saying put his username in the chat, and then I could get that to my son. That'll stay on the stream, and then I could go get it when I'm off the stream when he's awake tomorrow. But so let's look at there's two sides to this bubble thing. Thank you. It's two sides to this bubble thing, right? Let's not talk. Okay, thank you. Let's not talk resources. Let's just talk how how kids are treated, right? I'm a person who stands behind kids knowing that kids need grace. Beverly, what's up? Welcome back. Kids need grace, right? No, my son is going to sleep now. Kids need grace, and the bubble that I'm a part of, um, I'm very patient in a way with my kids, and children in general. I'm very patient to see, just the grace that you give them when someone says the wrong thing. They didn't eat, they didn't finish their food, or they don't like something. This thing I'm dealing with my daughter, like maybe something said and it could come off a certain way. Just being careful, like with your words. Um, and I got to observe the flip side of that today, which is the side that I more so come from, and not within this bubble, is what do you need help with? Someone not within this bubble where kids aren't given grace, and they just don't respond the same way. They seem to be more on the defense, and they just don't seem like kids to me. They seem like they're searching for a placement, like in the world. Whereas inside the bubble that I've created, my kids still they still are very dependent upon me. I don't know what you're talking about, Jelani. If you could tell me what you're talking about, we could I could try to communicate to that. But that's all. I just wanted to come in here and just kind of discuss just a bubble, and when people are in these bubbles, it's kind of hard to, I won't say remove yourself from the bubble, but it's also not that safe because eventually that bubble is gonna burst, right? And I don't know the wins and the hows. I was thinking on my drive home, like, when do you burst the bubble, and how do you go about bursting the bubble? Um, and I'm just thinking out loud here, guys. I would say if you would like to contribute to the conversation, if anything I'm saying resonates, um, if you could drop a line in the chat that correlates to what I'm saying, as far as a bubble, and are are, are you in a bubble? You know, yeah, my kids don't play any games. My kids, my kids don't play any games that they need to purchase things. I don't. I actually don't believe in. I don't believe in those games that you could purchase that type of stuff. Yeah. No, you sorry. Um, yeah, you gotta take care of that kid. You're gonna have to create that bubble. I don't know how I can help from here. The internet is not a place. I don't believe in that. This is definitely not a place for that. If you need to give, yeah, if you then you probably need to go give that one-on-one attention, because I don't know what to do with that. Um, if you want to talk as far as what I'm saying, like kids needing grace, there's a way to give kids grace, but then you still have to somewhat, be stern, and still on us to set them up, set them on their way. Um, but like I was saying, for people who may have just joined the chat, how you doing? Is it Ronnie? Um, I was just talking about being in the bubble. If you just joined and you want to hang out for a little bit, please like the stream. Very interactive live streamer. If you want to talk, have a conversation tonight, kind of chill. sitting back. I had an experience today that I was talking about. Um, I I won't say recently, but my heart, my heart. I guess I grew up in a place not where I'm at, and the move that I made roughly a decade ago. It's just like living in two different worlds, and the purpose of me being where I'm at today has everything to do with what where I was couldn't offer me. And when you throw kids in the mix, it just makes me realize and me consider and look at the equation or some sort of a comparison as to what I'm feeling inside that bubble versus not being that bubble and watching children like go through that bubble. So like one of the things with me that I'm big on is giving children and my kids a lot of grace. Giving them the ability to make make mistakes and really grow through those mistakes. I don't blindly allow them to make mistakes. When I see mistakes, thank you, Beverly. I think you need to be consistent with kids. I totally agree. But consistency could be without grace, right? So I think there has to definitely be an intent. Like, I guess when I really get deep and I think about it, if you don't know, you can't teach what you don't know, right? And a lot of people who come from humble means, um, I don't care to say the poverty word, but if you are a person who comes from humble means, usually we're in some sort of a strained situation. And my mom's main job was just to keep us safe, right? And I think consistency was a tactic there based on whatever she wanted to deploy. Now, her thing was independence. She wanted us to be independent so that we didn't rely on others. And there's a pro to that, but there's also a con to that, right? So everything has its like pros and cons. So I'm really working through this bubble that I have created and continue to create. And the bubble has to burst at some point, right? And I just don't know when and how. Because the world is not, I would love to say that my crew here is going to have the inflection of all the grace that was given once they go outside in the world, right? I don't think that that's the case. I think that they're going to be living in somewhat of a two-ness, right? Double consciousness. W.E.B. Du Bois. He wrote about double consciousness in the souls of black folks, where the grace that they're used to understanding of how you treat people, how you treat children, what your society could look like, the grace that we can give one another as a community. When the world doesn't respond like that, we kind of just live in both worlds, and you almost understand when there's time for grace and when there's not. Almost like I grew up around a lot of people who, let's say, were in the streets. I know when to be, I know when not to be academic scholar Darnell, right? It's not that it's not a being fake. It's that these two things don't magnetize, you know. And I know when to be related to somebody who is in the streets. because that's to me that's a survival skill, right? And I guess that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about survival skills. I'm talking about survival skills. Are you in a bubble?
What?
Are you in a bubble?
No.
You're not in a bubble.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 So Beverly says, always keep the communication with your kids. Make sure they can talk to you about anything. Do you guys feel like you could talk to me about anything?
Mm,
Hmm?
yes. About how you should not go to bed early what on the weekends when
Um.
no, I have a better one. When you shouldn't waste TV because that TV's on and you're doing this, you're not even watching. You
I
can't
was
do both.
okay. So you want the remote? Here. Right here.
Hmm?
Anybody? Go. 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 I'm trying to
Mommy
stream.
said we can't. We have to go to
Okay. You got 5 minutes. Go. Anyway,
sleep.
no, I agree with you, Beverly. I and communication is a good part of it. See, but that's what I sum up as the grace, right? So like right now, they're supposed to go to sleep. So your first point was the consistency, right? Now we just took a long trip for us, at least. That was a long trip. What was it 60 minutes, right? We had a birthday party, came home, and they're home. The kids don't generally eat that good when we go out and party. They eat home food a little better. I'm gonna say a lot better. So we know they won't. We know they're gonna do the I'm hungry. So get something together real quick. And first thing was I told them you got to be flexible. And then I had to explain what flexible was. And once we got past that, now they're looking to find that wiggle room to just extend the night because it just feels so good to always extend the night. Now, greetings from Kazan. Well, welcome. Greetings to you as well. So, for me, it's Saturday. Kazan of Tastarstan. Ta- Tartarstan. Okay, I got that. Okay. Is that Russia? Is that what he's saying, Rush? So I'm just giving them a little bit of grace because it doesn't upset me to have them play that little game. It doesn't upset me because I'm watching them work together. So it's you just seen both of them come on. So they're working together. They actually understood what they were supposed to be doing, and they're trying to just find that one little loophole. Daddy said this. Mommy said that. And when he came up, he was trying to ask me, he told me, why am I allowed to have a TV on and stream at the same time? So he's also not self identifying with his behaviors. And so it's like all of that energy, I'm allowing for him to have the energy. I'm allowing for them to have the energy. Because that's the energy, those are the behaviors that turn into, they may not be able to articulate what they're doing. My words today might be too powerful for what I can offer them. But only in the bubble are they going to be allowed that grace. And one day, the world may not treat them as such. And I just feel like, I don't know when the cutoff happens. But I have to start thinking about that because they have it good. I observed a lot of kids today that tell you uh, tell you a story about it. We were at a trampoline park, and if you guys just joined, please like the stream. Um, I'm just having a conversation tonight. It's no antics. I'm a very interactive streamer. If you want to drop something in the chat, if you like what I'm saying, or you have some context, like Beverly, drop some good stuff in the chat. Please do so. If you disagree, that's everyone's free to have their own opinion. Um, I don't. I guess it's free speech. I don't. I don't know, but so we were at the trampoline park for all of 5 minutes, and the way that it was shaped, I was able to observe the kids from the top. The party section was like at the top, and I was able to see the kids. So in a distance, my wife tells me that my son is stuck. Now, even though I'm pretty sure that there's some good money put into these parties, at this trampoline park, which is different than the one near me, they seem well staffed, but the staff were very hands off. My son, I could see him. I'm like, I'm probably, we're on a different level, but I'm probably like, I say like 150 feet from him. And I could see him, and he's stuck. Like he's stuck. And these kids, if you're not a super athletic kid and you can't necessarily like lift your body weight, you could get into an area where there was like some ninja warrior kind of pad where you jump left, right, left, and they had the base of that. Um, he got stuck down at the bottom, so he's trying to pull himself up. And everyone that was with him, it was all kids. Everyone just went ahead and left him out of sight, out of mind. He's stuck there. So I make my way down. It takes me like maybe 2 or 3 minutes to get to where he was at, and I lift him up, two hands, and bam, just curled him right. Did like a nice curl. Luckily, I'm still in enough shape to do so. I keep telling my friends that's trying to have kids in their mid to late 30s, you're gonna regret it. There's something about it you're gonna regret. So I pick him up, and he got the waterworks coming down, and he was like, they left me, and I had to hear him out, but I had to understand the bigger picture. Um, he should just be in a little bit better shape to be able to get up. And I get it; it was a loud place, but be happy that your dad was here. I got you. I got your back. And then so I go back to the where the party area was. It's mainly adults just hanging out there. Give it like 20 more minutes. I see another kid from our party stuck. Now the staff are not responding to this. There are no alarms being set off. And when I say stuck, I mean the kids. They kind of get into a panic because there's like kids that are jumping around them on all these little like um, like little Tarzan rope swings. But once you fall down into the pit, you're just down there, and you can't really get up, unless you can lift yourself up. So someone threw this girl, and I didn't know the girl, but I knew she was with our party. Someone they just threw her a rope. What good is a rope if you can't like pull yourself? Because you can't really pull your body weight. So I look, and now this girl was even bigger than my son. So I go over another another 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. Get over to her, pull her out. and she looked embarrassed. She looked sad. She looked grateful. Um, but unfortunately, that was all. I didn't have a connection with the girl. I don't know the girl. I still don't know the girl's name. I just kept telling my daughter to make sure that you include everybody, that's there. And I could see on her face. I've seen this face before. I've definitely seen this face before. It's a face of um, insecurity, and it doesn't, and this is, it's not about if you have both parents. It's about who they are. And sometimes it may some people turn out great with zero parents, right? It's really about the grace that's around them and whether or not you're able to connect with that. I don't want to call them a case, so I'll just say with that child. But at the age that that girl was, um, I'm just worried about where does it go from here, because those same insecurities and fears and shyness. Nick the Pick is texting me. It's a 3-0 series lead. New York Knicks. Cool. So that shyness, and there's nothing wrong with being shy, but when you're shy and you also don't have a protector, that's a scary world. That's a scary world. And I think, I mean, my mom was shy. Growing up, my mom used to always push me and my sister into situations where we would have to ask for things. We go to the sneaker store. She'll tell me to speak up, but she won't speak up, right? So it just, I mean, hearing from her. So I think personally, I've always been sensitive and somewhat attracted to helping people and guarding people in those types of situations. When the shyness becomes a thing that kind of guards you from your success, your happiness, or what could be your happiness. And I just think that I was in an environment today, and maybe I was wrong for just really observing everything, because I like to have a good time. I love to have fun. And my type of fun doesn't, it doesn't enter the environment to in an extreme way to where it makes anyone feel, any kind of way. Because I'm always just really worried about the people, not worried, but just in tune and observant with the people around me. It wasn't a total bad experience. It just felt like a difference in my bubble. And whenever my kids, I watch them to see how they look at these scenarios when they're not in a bubble. Like my son, near the end of being there, my son, somebody said, "Oh, somebody pulled your son's hair." Now he has locks now. I said, "What did he do?" Well, apparently my son hit him. Well, what you want me to do? Because I don't think he's been in an environment where somebody would just, I'ma just come up to you and not know you, pull your hair, you know. And he responded pretty well, you know. And that's every kid is obviously every kid is different, but I wouldn't mess with the little one. If if you know what's good for you, leave that little one alone. But that's all, guys. Beverly, thanks for hanging out. It was a joy to talk to you. I didn't know, like I said, I do enjoy coming on and having these conversations. It does get hard when it's there's not much to go back and forth with. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I don't have the right setting, the right fit. But I've been streaming for 110 straight days now, and it's been a journey, and I'm still learning. So I'm just open to seeing what that's like and exploring like new arcs, new journeys. I do enjoy having deeper conversations, but I think for me, what I'm asking out of people who come into a stream, commenting, I may think commenting is a low hanging fruit. I think people are now very cautious, and it's almost like an energy expense. Oh, you've been sick. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's good to talk to you again as well. Um, but it just feels like it's an expensive thing to stick around in a stream. Somebody's actually talking. Somebody's actually daywalk. What's up, man? Oh, and now I get daywalk. Right when I try to run away. Thanks for the like, daywalk. Yeah, it's just it's not always that part's not always easy. Um, but I've pushed through. Um, I when I say I want to stream, I try not to make this like hard for myself. I just say I'm gonna do it. You gotta live with what happens. Some days are great, some days are not so great. But I get more concerned about, like I said, I think I may be choosing the wrong road. Maybe it's a panel discussion that I'm looking for, right? Because I think I watch a lot larger channels, and the thing that we make an assumption about is that the larger channels have always been large. But when you have a large channel, you get a lot of feedback in the chat, and you get to kind of pick and choose how you go about that feedback. So it adds and contributes to the conversation. So it's also the right people. Like if I could do 5 Beverlys, we'd be on and popping. We'd be on our way. But yeah, every night's not this kind of night where um, analyzing. I mean, I did have another topic, right? Um, it just hit me. I was also thinking tonight. I'll just say it. If it doesn't stick and it doesn't go anywhere, that's totally fine. I had this feeling about, the term, I don't know if it's a term or a phrase or a feeling, when people don't like doing business with family. Like we're almost told, don't do business with family. I think something's wrong there. I don't think enough information is given to support some of these cliches and phrases that we grow with. Because if I can't remember ever hearing the opposite, right? Make sure you do business with your family. Um, I always hear, don't do business with family. You ain't gotta watch the ones that's closest to you. And it's not that I'm in dire need to do business with family. It's that how how do we build families in a way where we don't have enough structure to yield honesty, integrity, trust, like all of the things that you would think would make a solid business partner. Why would that be so hard to ask of not every family member, you know, but someone within your family? And here's the flip side. Not doing business with someone in your family means that you have to figure out an artificial or synthetic. You have to grow into that trust, that integrity, all honesty, whether it's on your side or their side. You have to actually grow into that. Where and obviously there's extremes, but I'm also speaking to people who have you've been with your family, you've grown. We usually have some cousins, there's some distant relationships, but there's a love, there's something that has binded you. But once we get into the let's make money, let's grow, let's be successful in the world, let's achieve something, we don't that's not time to be family. It's not time to use that relationship. I just thought that was the sad thing, and I'm thinking about how I approach my. It all comes back to my children, and I'm like, that I'm not teaching that. I actually rather see them try something and fail, than just assume that you shouldn't use this for that. And I actually think that there's people who understand that this is false. Like that you should not have that as a thought. And I think that they know that they're successful. Like look at the thing where I don't know exactly how it works, but you can employ your children, right? Tax write off. You can employ your children before they're eligible to actually work. You could pay them as some sort of a contractor. And a lot of people do this and they do it for the tax breaks, but they're also giving their children the opportunity to earn money. So everyone wins. Everyone wins. And on the flip side, I got to go out, or a normal person has to go out and send their child to go work at some job because they don't have life in a situation where you both kind of could reap off of a situation where you've put something into it, like a business. And I'll think deeper about that and kind of come back to really express what I'm saying. I just think that when I get around certain particular people, and I feel like a lot of us are somewhat winning. Could you just imagine what it would look like if we won together? That's what I'll leave you with tonight. Thanks so much. It's been real. The channel's still growing. Um, it feels like we're crawling at times. You do need to prepare them. Are you saying prepare my thoughts? What's up, Golden Eagle? Master King 23. Ha ha. Are you saying prepare my thoughts and prepare my children? Yeah, I think prepare my thoughts, man. If even if you were saying children, may I share the word of God with you? Absolutely. Drop it in the chat. No, your children. Yeah, no, but that's the thing. It's just a balance. Like you can only prepare them for what you know and understand, and there's a lot that you may not know and understand. So then they that are not in the flesh cannot please God, but ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit. If so be that the spirit of God dwell in you. I appreciate that. I use Golden Eagle. You. I think I've seen you in the chat before. Um, yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't mind. I definitely don't mind the scripture drop. Um, what happens sometimes though, Golden Eagle, is um, we could be in a deep conversation, right? And it doesn't matter what comes in the chat. It might be. See, I have this thing, and maybe I need to do a video on it where people in the chat don't realize that they're joining a stream anymore. It's about them. It's about their feelings. It's about the person who's streaming, which is not an easy task. It's not easy to come on here. And a lot of times people they take that for granted and they use the chat as their own way to have a stream because then they get the streamer to pretty much identify and prioritize their chat. And I just wish that when people come in, they would be like, "Oh, okay, let me see what he's talking about," and then even if you say, "Hey, can you repeat what the topic is?" and then I'll go in, and then you'll start to figure out and hear some things and say, "Okay, this is what this person represents." Bam. And you know what? I have a scripture that'll help to seal what you trying to say. You stumbling over it. I got scripture for you. So, but no, that was cool, Golden Eagle. All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here. I did appreciate hanging out tonight. Hopefully, well, I'll definitely be on tomorrow. Well, we'll see if the plan, if that's in my plans for me to get up in the morning. I will be on. I saw you in a skin flute concert. Have a great weekend as well. Scared of werewolves. I don't know what skin flute. I was doing a concert early in the garden. I don't know what that is, man. But please come back. Like the stream. I'll talk to you guys another time. I'll be outside tomorrow. Hopefully the rain won't be too bad, but I'm gonna be out there. Peace.